I am so glad you could join us today for a Clarity Tarot Deck Casual. I'm Gerald, your host, Tarot Stash. Today, I am joined by the amazing Grow Your Light with Debra Zachau, Val from Dragonfly Crystals, and Next Level Channeling. Oops, sorry, Val. And Jeff from Tarot Ask Backwards. I am glad to have everybody here. Links are below to everybody's channels, so let's get started. And here we are. The deck casual has begun.
Yay.
Yay. And everyone, please welcome Debra from Grow Your Light.
Thank you.
Hi, Debra.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
I've had the pleasure of reading with Debra. I've had her on my channel. I interviewed her about her upcoming book, Decode Tarot.
Yeah.
Which you will you can watch that. It's linked below. And also joined by Val from Dragonfly Crystals. Hi, Val.
Hi, Gerald. Thanks
And
for having me.
I am thrilled you're here. Thank you. Thrilled you're here. And then we have Jeff from Tarot Ask Backwards.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Hello, Val. Hello, Gerald. Hello, Debra.
Hi.
Hi.
And I am Tarot Stash. I'm glad to have everybody here. We are going to be talking about this deck, giving Debra an opportunity to hear us heap praise in her general direction for a period of time.
So great.
So, and we're also going to talk about some of our favorite cards, some of the cards we want more information on. And I'll go into all of the physicality of the deck as well. So, and I do want to say thank you, everybody, for being here. And welcome the best chatters, the best lurkers, the work lurkers, the flying lurkers, the future lurkers, the tub lurkers, the washing the dishes lurkers, walking lurkers, all of the lurkers, the cow lurkers, the multitasking lurkers, the gardening lurkers, the parenting lurkers, the nap lurkers, the turkey lurkers, and only half paying attention lurkers. So glad to have everybody here. So, and full disclosure, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance, really. And please purchase responsibly. Know your limits. That is the Tarot Collector's disclaimer. And we are really here to share, not to sell.
Yeah.
So, and yeah. And one of the other ones that I have is tell them Tarot Stash sent you. That gets you nothing. Gets you absolutely nothing. So, right now there are 30 people watching. This is amazing. So
Awesome.
I want to say hi to as many people as I can. However, I do not want to take time away from us talking about this deck. Dawn said, from the person who introduced Debra to Kate Matthews, the artist behind Clarity Tarot. So
yeah.
Did Dawn do that?
Yeah, we belonged in a group. And yeah. Thanks, Dawn.
Fancy schmancy. And yeah. And Dawn is like, she's outing you. Dawn is outing you. Is this a good thing? The thing is that Debra has about 15 more book ideas in her
So-
that are half completed at this point. She is
Yeah.
simply amazing and stopping her course. Aw.
oh, thank you, Don. It's so true. I have so many little irons.
So Anne just here. B.A. Haven. Hypnicity, Nolani, who will be on my channel on Monday.
Oh, wow.
First time. You've got the links in your email. And Deanne, Blue Crescent Tarot, who is the originator in my mind of the sip sip.
The sip sip?
Mhm.
Sip, sip.
Everybody take a sip sip. Make sure you hydrate yourself.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm going
you got to
to.
do that. You got to do
Are we
it.
really going to do that? Okay.
Well,
Oh
you have
my
to hydrate yourself.
You have to
Come on.
hydrate.
That's true.
My brain doesn't even work.
So
Thank you
yeah.
for reminding us.
Yes. So amazing people are here. Hello. And Amanda absolutely loved Clarity Tarot. It's
Oh,
beautiful.
good.
And I use it often. I only wish cardstock was thicker.
Ah,
Stay tuned. We got more
stay
information.
tuned. We got the answer to that.
Yes, we got the answer. So, yep. Coach Ellen, I have Deb's
Coach.
Clarity deck in my hands, ready to learn.
Awesome.
So this is great. Okay. So, all right. So, Debra,
Yes. Hello.
hi.
Hi.
What got you to create this tarot deck?
I love this story. I was teaching tarot in my office, and I had a group every Saturday that would come in. And Kate Matthews came in, and I thought, I didn't know you wanted to learn the tarot. And she went through the class and stayed after and said, I really don't want to learn tarot, but I do want to create a deck. She's an artist.
Oh,
And so what she did, I said, well, I got information for you. So we did all that. But the thing is that we stuck with it for about a year. And she did 2 cards a week where I would write the book and the keywords and all of that stuff. And we try to negotiate on images and things. But what she did was she would go on the internet and research everything there is for that card and put the symbolisms in. For people who read astrology, that's in there. And there's a lot of the flowers, the meaning of the flowers. She did a great job with that.
that's amazing.
Great job.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So, all right. Thank you, Sharon Sipe. Sharon Sipe is putting in
Yeah.
links if people would like to purchase responsibly and know your limits.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. So if I talk very quickly, tough. That's my excitement. Yes, I have done all of my preparation. So I'm going to start going down through this. This is the first edition,
Yes.
which came out and is published by Red Feather,
Mhm.
and it was printed in India. So this is, well, I think this is the one everybody has.
Yes. That's yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It is, let's talk about this box. It is a 2-part top lift, great box.
It
I
is
mean,
really.
nothing getting to get through this one. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a really, really nice deck. And this, let's talk about the little white book. You know that term, little white book?
Oh,
This item is 174 pages long, people. I mean,
all
that's
my
cool.
secrets.
Yes. And I love it. Val is like doing the same thing. Val, what do you want to say about the book?
I love the book. I love the book. It's very readable even without your readers on.
Yes, the font is very good.
Yeah, the font
The
is
font
good.
is excellent, and I love the keywords at the bottom of every section. I think it's just clear and concise.
Yeah.
Full of very good information and imagery.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can, you know,
Yeah. Jeff, did you want to say anything about the little white book?
Yeah, I have had deteriorating vision since probably I've been 11, and
Aw.
I find it very readable. I don't have to squint. I also like the way that the cards are sourced as far as meanings are concerned, because it's not the standard this card, this card, this card. There is some background beyond what a meaning of the card is, and I think that is interpolated into the scheme a lot better than in some other books where it's like a slog to just kind of go through each one. So
Oh, good. Good.
And I do have to say, the contents are very clear, and I like how you talk about the suits and their elements and superpowers.
Yes.
So I think that's an insightful thing. One of the best things about this little book is part 2, which is what's in a number. You talk about the numerology, which is extremely important. So
It can be.
Yes. So it's quite nice. It's quite nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just want to pop in just a second because there's a lot of key things on every card. There's astrology probably and some numbers and keywords. I want to tell you, you don't have to learn everything about it.
Yes.
These cards, I don't care if you're a novice or a pro, you're going to make a throw and your mind is going to go blank. And you're going to think of a thread because all you need is a pathway into that room of knowing. And then the story comes to you, right? So you might, the number might do it. The keywords might do it, but you don't have to learn all of it. Just the color of it could do it.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to overwhelm anyone with imagery and you need to do this or that. It's easy.
Yes. That's very helpful advice. That also comes through in your book, your Decode Tarot. Yeah. Now, I am going to, Deborah, please show the copy that you have from the publisher.
I just unwrapped it on Sherry's show. The brand new book.
So it's, and
sorry.
Deborah and I talked about this deck or this book. It's a great resource for people who are brand new. I've been reading tarot for 25 plus years, and it's a great resource. So it's really wonderful. I am seeing a lot of the chat. Thank you, the best chatters. Dreamweaver's Joy said, happy to catch a live with Deborah. I have 2 copies of her deck now, waiting for my pre-ordered copy of Decode Tarot, and am slowly beginning to read tarot video course. Deborah, you rock.
I love that. Thank you so much, Dreamweaver. Oh my goodness.
So
I really appreciate that.
There you go. Yeah, I was really pleased about this this little book because it's a gem. It's got really useful information. Deborah is not paying me to say that.
No.
I bought my copy of the deck. I bought my copy of the deck after I saw you with Jonathan Daly.
Oh, wow.
That's the first time I saw you with Jonathan.
That was the first time I was ever on YouTube.
So there you go.
So cool.
The card back looks like this. And the card size, for those of you who care about that, they're 3 inches by 5 inches. So if you compare that to a standard RWS, it's a little taller and a little wider. So, which translates into 7.5 centimeters by 12.5 centimeters if you're into metric. So, and
I just want to say I like the gold rimming around it. So the tarot decks, the Kipper has the gold rimming, but I'm so glad that another deck that I have has the gold rimming around it.
Yeah, it's a
beautiful surprise.
Yeah,
that was a surprise.
You didn't know they were going to do it?
You didn't know?
It matches the back.
I know. It was really a surprise.
It does. Yeah. All right. The card stock of this is a little thinner. There's a story around that. However, I do know that you said the publisher is going to be having are they calling it a second edition or a second printing?
Second edition, a second printing edition, because I'm going to add a few. One thing that was left out of this are the numbers on the major cards, and it's just something you can play with for timing. That's all.
Yes.
And it's just the same numbers any other book has on the major, so it's not a big revelation, but it's another little something to say, okay, I can look at your eye is drawn to one major card and you see a 3 and you say, I see 3. That's how spirit talks to you, is through impulses. And I'm giving you 78 ways for the spirit that could talk to you and give you an impulse to say things. But that's going to be different. And also the thickness of the cards are going to be different. The reason it was scheduled to be printed in China, like everybody else, but COVID happened and China wasn't available for anything. So they moved it to India. And so this was what happened with India. And it's the rollout was disappointing because I think I mentioned this before, the first 3 reviews on Amazon were 1 star because of the card stock.
Oh.
But it was easy to it evened out and stuff like that after a while, but it'll all be fixed. So
I will say with the card stock is before you riffle shuffle, I am a riffle shuffler. I don't know if anybody else is. I'm a riffle shuffler, so get to know how the deck works for you in your hands. I'm an aggressive riffle shuffler. So yeah, how's that? There's my short.
My cards are beautiful because I don't shuffle.
Yeah. Somebody's going to make a short of me saying I'm an aggressive riffle shuffler. So yeah. So just get to know how it works for you. And so, Jeff, how is it for you shuffling the decks?
It's a lot easier for me. It seems smoother than like the stock of the deck to me is everything, because I've had gross motor skill problems since I was a child. So the actual act of shuffling can be a chore, and I have my own little machinations I go through where I do it, a certain way based on positioning a deck out, and then doing it kind of the spiritual growth tarot way, which is laying them all out and then moving them around and then picking them that way. But the way hers are, the actual way they fall into your hand is a lot more clean to me than it is in some other decks. And it could be a function of the fact they are bigger. I think that works to their advantage in this case. They're slightly bigger.
So, all right. So go ahead.
If the thickness of the new cards are too much for you because it's a little bigger, you can always designate a nice cloth bag that you shuffle in the cloth bag.
Oh, yeah.
And then reach in. I mean, there's people that do that broke their arm or wrist and they're hotline psychics. They need to work, right? So they would do it that way, and that works out. So some people are going to like the new thickness and some people aren't.
Miss Charlotte has said, tune in to my next short. It's called Aggressive Riffle Shuffling. Sounds like a Tuck Box Rage song. Care Bear Bard of Cards, they are not out now. They're scheduled to, second edition is scheduled to sometime the beginning of next year in 2025. Yeah.
That's the way they're predicted. And so this last batch are really inexpensive. And they did tell me that. And I don't want, I'm not saying this to force anybody to go out, but it is cheaper if you want a second deck to be able to cut up and use. But the next ones the price is going to go up a little bit, but only a couple bucks.
So basically, know your limits, purchase responsibly.
Yes,
if you want a second copy and you like this card stock, now might be the time. So
just saying.
Yeah. Court card naming, Page, Knight, Queen, King. And the there are no extra cards in it, so it's 78 cards.
Mm-hmm.
The elemental associations are, correct me if I'm wrong, we have swords is air, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Wands is fire.
Mm-hmm.
Ace or cups are water,
Correct.
and pentacles are earth.
Yes.
So, all right. And okay, so the makeup of the card, this is where I think it's important to, this is where there's a beauty to this. The cards, they are borderless here, but then at the bottom, we have on every single card information about love and money. So as Deborah was saying, let me tell you, I'm not a person who likes information on my cards. However, this has come in very handy, especially when somebody is asking a reading, and then it suddenly switches from, oh, I just want a general reading, to really what they wanted to know about was money. Or what they wanted to know about is love. And it's like, I gotcha.
Oh, good.
So, so it is set up like this. Also is at the top, right here, is your indicator for yes or no. And would you be okay with sharing a little bit about that yes or no? Because yeah.
So it's very easy the way I did it. It's not a secret. So I designated the no's for all the court cards and odd numbered cards, and all the yeses are major cards and even number cards. So when people first unboxed them, they saw the devil and the tower as yes, and they didn't like that. But understand, it's not every tower is a no, right? There's no value in that. But what it is that my idea was that you lay out an odd number of cards and it's going to say yes or no, right? But it'll tell you why it's yes and why it's no inside those 5 cards or 7 cards.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Because, my initial thing was, well, that's not a yes. And then I was like, hearing you talk about that, I went, oh, okay, then I don't have to worry about it.
No, it's just a blanket theory. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So, but, and I know people who have used that information and added that to another
their own
deck.
Their own deck. It's just
perfect. Yeah. And know your limits, purchase responsibly. Anne just put in, first edition is currently 38% off on Amazon. 38% off. So
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Roots
yeah.
and waves.
And it does help with the cards around. It makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So cool. Okay, let's get into some cards, shall we?
Yes.
I mean, I love it. Jeff and Val have been very quiet. They've been very polite. And so I'm going to start with you, Jeff. I'm going to ask you to share one of your favorite cards.
I have like multiple favorites in this deck, but the one that jumps out at me first was the 5 of Pentacles. And it seems so subtle that it would, but you don't know by looking at the card at first if the person has been excommunicated from the church or is sitting out in the church trying to get back into it for shelter. And so the meanings to me, you said to put ours down. The meaning,
this is good. This is great.
The meaning to me on that card can mean a couple different things as far as religion and organized religion is concerned. But as far as shelter and safety and all the other things that might be attendant to the meanings on the bottom, it means a lot more to me when you have the door somewhat ajar and there's some light popping out. So, even though there's a no on top, I think the imagery of this card lends itself to, obviously it's a no card in any tarot deck.
It's an odd card, yeah.
It's an odd card. But to me, the light shining on him, and if you were going to get this card, you would want it to be reversed. But whether or not it's about religion or if it's about being excommunicated from the church or just being out in the cold, that's such a vague set of meanings to me that it can almost be not doing the card enough justice, but the imagery does it the justice to complement the meaning of the card.
Ah,
But I have more too. But if you want me
Okay,
to,
well, hold on. We're going to
Okay.
go a bit round robin
okay.
because this is also one of my favorite cards.
Oh, okay.
And one of the reasons it's my favorite card is the perspective. The artist, if you are watching this, you did a great job with the perspective on this, because you don't oftentimes see this angle associated with it. And all of the standard images, so to speak, or the association is there, but the light radiating through is extremely powerful. So I like it. It's one that I was like, as I've been flipping through, I'm like, that's a really nice card.
Mm.
So
that's great.
yeah. Val, do you have one?
I do. The Five of Swords. And if you can hold that up, Gerald, I'll just say, when you see the imagery of this, there's so many that I love, but this is one of them where it's almost like you're fighting your shadow.
Oh, yeah.
The person in the background, it's you fighting yourself in many ways. And there are no clear victors. It's like there's no one that's celebrating over having this angst with another person who is the mirror of you. It's very clear that there is a lot of thought going on inside these people's minds to try and grasp what this is all about, what they've just gone through.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you notice they're not holding their swords in a combat stance at this point. They've realized, oh, wait a minute, none of us won.
Yeah. Well, and that's a really important aspect of that card. So
yeah. It can be that inner shadow work, but you're seeing it through your mirrors, who's in front of you playing out. And so it's a very deep card. I love the imagery. Yeah.
And that's the woman in the forefront is Kate Matthews. That's her, what she looks like. Yes. But if you think of the swords as thought, you have the one lady. I mean, you can go deep in it. One lady that has a thought that made separation, and the one in front of us is the one that's mixed up with her thoughts. Things are going every which way.
Definitely, you can see the wheels are still turning and they're pondering everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, Deborah? What's one of your favorite cards?
I like the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords, we've all experienced. Everybody listening has had life experience with every card.
Yeah.
So at first we see this kind of dressed up lady all, tied up. But what it is that I have been in that same situation. So we feel we're at no choice, but of course there's choices available. But to make those choices available means that my life has to change so dramatically, I might want to stay. For instance, I was in a loveless relationship. I knew I had to go, but I had no money to be able to leave it. So I felt at no choice, but that motivated me to move. I mean, I didn't feel like I was a victim, but so everyone's had that somehow.
Miss Moonlight said the Eight of Swords is my favorite card. And Jamie, Wandering Manic Bardic Path, said it's definitely a nifty card. Yep.
I love that word, nifty. It is
Eight
good.
of Swords. So
what I like about it is, I don't mean to cut anyone off,
No.
is that, well, I did, but is that this is, it's sort of as if she's on display as to say that she is being, held prisoner. But in reality, the swords are, even in the regular Rider-Waite, they're behind her. But she's on a stage and you're waiting for her to free herself. But she looks all gussied up, and you see that, appearances are deceiving, whether she doesn't necessarily know that she can make it through or that she has to make it through. None of that's clear based on this, other than the idea that she needs to extricate herself because we
Right.
just assigned that meaning to that card.
I love
That's
that
what I
she.
like about it.
I'm
It's one of
sorry,
mine.
Jeff. I'm sorry, Jeff. I love what you said. I love that she's holding the string, the ribbon that can be unfurled. She is in control of the situation, but she may not, just like Deborah, you mentioned, might not.
Mhm.
It's what's the big thing you have to get through and let go of to.
But just, I think it's so recognizing. Some people read that as a victim card. Oh, I'm such a victim. But
no.
I
No.
read it as an observer
Yeah.
that, oh, I realize this isn't working, so I'm going to have to create
Yeah.
something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
You're the master. You're holding the control
right.
string. You're a master of your destiny
Yeah.
there in that card. I don't
Mhm.
see it's a victim card either.
Yeah. This is such great conversation. Thank you. One of the things that I'm going to bounce off of that. I'm going to talk. I like the Seven of Swords.
Oh.
I like this perspective. So the artist has done a very nice job with this. One of the things that I find helpful is the Seven of Swords. It depending upon where you are in this card, and if you really want to steal all of those swords, it can feel chaotic and overwhelming, and everything is going in opposite directions. It can be very crazy, and so here's what I like about this, Deborah, and there is dynamic action in this card, where oftentimes I don't see that dynamic action in the Seven of Swords. It's a bit more subtle. This
Right.
one, it feels urgent.
Right. The panic.
Yeah, the panic.
Yeah.
That's right.
And no matter what, someone's always watching you from that angle. Everyone can see you. It doesn't matter if you're above, below, or wherever. Anyone can see you.
Yeah.
That's important. That's not in the regular one.
And by the way, the chat is going wonderful. Thank you. Mary Hernandez Walker said, so much food for thought. I'm learning.
Oh, good.
And it's a good deck when these are fave picks.
That's true.
Yeah. And thank you, Ange, for putting in the artist's link. I appreciate that. That's great. So
thank you.
Matthews. And tell her Tarot Stash sent you. No, I'm kidding.
That's right.
So, all right. So, Jeff, do you have another card that you'd like to share?
Yep. This I like because the Emperor has the devil's horns on it. And to me, it's as if there's this connotation to someone who's in their own authority, that there's something not right about that, right? But that's deceiving. That's not what the meaning of this card is, because if you really look at it, and since Gerald's kind enough to have that up, there's that glistening, stick he's holding in one hand. And to me, it makes it seem like, hey, you can be prideful in saying no. Hey, there's no shame in saying no. Hey, I can be in my own authority, and you might think I'm, whatever, but at least I'm doing it, and I'm doing it as I need to set the boundaries that I have to set, no matter how I'm perceived. So I think that's one of my other favorites in the deck. But I like how there's that attachment to the devil with it, because now with, all of this stuff going on politically, and then all these people that we view as, these, cult leaders or hierophants or whatever, it's sort of an amalgamation of everything into one card. It makes you think, what does that card mean? And what should it mean? So there's a sort of irony being played with that, I think.
Yeah, because that's all about institutions. Empress is Mother Nature. emperor's institutions,
Mhm.
and Hierophant is traditional man-made religion. They're
Yeah.
they don't. So good. I never thought of it that way. That's cool.
See, even our, even the creators learning something. This is like awesome.
Yes.
Val, what do you have?
The chariot is another favorite, and
Ah.
I'll tell you why. You have this lady, this woman, this powerful woman standing up with the reins of two horses, one dark, one light. Her dominant hand is really pulling the white horse forward. So she's kind of making her choice of balance, balancing. We go back and forth, or we're in the middle of things going on. And she looks determined, like she knows what she's doing, even though, her cape is flying. And I enjoy the fact that she looks like she knows when to pull on each rein.
Yeah.
Like she knows exactly, she's got the reins in her hands. She's letting the black one go slack while she's really pulling on the white one. So it's, to me, it shows she is in control of it all, and she knows where she's going. So instead of chasing after things, she knows what she's doing. I don't even
Yeah.
know what to say.
It's a great message. It's a great message.
Yeah. So she's not chasing after, she's chasing,
No.
she's going to them.
Yes.
Thank you. I love that, Gerald. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. Yes, exactly.
I
Yes.
do want to add about this, the chariot. A lot of times it's hard to get movement in the image of the chariot. This
Mhm.
card is all about movement.
Right.
Yeah.
All
That's so
about
true.
movement.
Yeah.
So, Caitlin, well done. Well done. All right. Debra, do you have one?
I do. The next one is the Eight of Cups, walking away from something you've put a lot of time and energy into. If you just say that to a person, that might panic them. But I would like to explain more about this card.
Please.
It is because the Eight of Cups means that you've already grieved what you're walking away from, and the next moment you're going to turn and find your new horizon. This is exactly like walking away from. If I get this card in a love reading and they're worried about their relationship, then I know that the person has already decided, I want out quietly. They don't say anything. And then they make their life to where they're grieving as they make their life ready to go. So it's not like you are, if you read this card and you feel nervous, oh, what do I have to give up because I love it so much, I might have to give it up. It's not like that. You'll already know that this is spirit saying, go ahead, grieve leaving behind, but then you're going to move into something special, brand new.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good card.
That's great. And I have my writing utensil because I'm making a note, because with the Eight of Cups, I hadn't said in my mind that you've already grieved the losses, and that I have oftentimes said you're not letting stuff go. You are instead walking to something new.
Oh, interesting.
So, and Tropical Empress and Spirit agrees with you.
Oh, good.
So, okay. How are we doing on time? We're 34 minutes in. This is cool. I'm going to go to the Fool. And one of the things that I love about this is I love, she reminds me of Mary Poppins.
Oh, me too. I chose that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the reason that I like that is Mary Poppins can make magic happen because she is willing to take an adventure. She's willing to go there. She's willing to look at things with new eyes. And so it's just like, And let's, I mean, we don't dress for travel anymore like we used to.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so this is really powerful. I thought that was fun. It just made me happy. I'm like going, holy mackerel, okay. So, and so it's fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dawn loves the Fool.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a surprise. It's spirit saying, I've got something in mind for you, and I'm not even going to tell your advisor. Because
I got Singing in the
because
Rain with that.
yeah, because you're supposed to experience this with a brand new child's heart that's coming around the
Yes.
corner, but it's always good news.
Yes.
I think.
I love that. I love it. Yeah. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Hey.
There you go. Oh, and Ange said I should have followed suit with Gerald Overachiever and put my deck in order over here. I'm loving having the card in hand as we discussed. Yeah.
Aw.
So, all right, Jeff, do you have another card you'd like to share?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. He's trying to pick which one.
Well, yeah, the Six of Wands is the other one I wanted to share because to me, there's this sort of blazing new paths. I know this is a card about being seen and heard and victory and whatnot, but it seems to me as if there's victory in blazing a new trail, regardless of the outcome.
Mhm.
So, she looks like a Western pioneer woman, in that sense, as opposed to just saying, hey, it's a hollow victory, or in the regular Rider-Waite, it's a victory, or a coronation, or almost a rite of passage that you're seeing in the Rider-Waite with the card. I like the representation here for that. I think that helps elevate the card's meaning from just beyond the superficial to something greater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very nice.
Awesome.
Val?
And the star is one that I absolutely love the imagery, and it gives you the sense of someone who is tuned into the higher frequencies of love and light. And she's even elevated on a platform that has steps up. And she's cloaked in this starry fabric, like galaxies, universes. And she's got her eyes closed in that higher frequency. And that star shining, like the North Star shining in the sky, reminds me that she is really able to bring forward whatever she wants. She really knows how to connect. She is connected, just always connected. And that the water is pouring. She's got a vessel of water pouring in. Tells me that she has the power to nurture and make life happen. What is that? That's manifestation in that star capacity. She is the dreamer, dreaming the dreams, creating everything. That there's so much in there.
Yeah.
And she's self-comforting. You know how her hand is on her. It's like she is embracing herself as she's going forward, which that nurturing, embracing feeling is there as well. And yeah. And the bird giving wings to everything. There's so much there. Yeah.
And this is now that I know that you told me basically, Kate is an overachiever with learning all of that stuff.
Yes.
It's one of those things you can definitely see it. And I mean, because of the pick of the bird and the placement and the tree and
tree of life.
Yeah.
The whole, and it's got the land, so it connects you with the earth at the same time. And she's watering the earth. That is a lot of beautiful imagery to show she has it all, both, and all these good things are going to flow to her. She's got that connection.
Yes.
Love that.
I will also, and this is an official teaser, hashtag know your limits, purchase responsibly. When I was reading Debra's new book, Decode Tarot, I learned something that I didn't know about the star. And you can go watch that video, or you can pre-order the book to find out what perhaps I discovered about that.
Ooh.
It was really, really good. I mean, I was like, holy crap, I didn't realize that. So.
I did, so it must have resonated. Oh, good.
Oh yeah, I mean, it resonated, and I wrote it down in my big Gerald journal. So yeah.
Yeah,
So.
that book, I got to say that I don't spend equal amount of time on every card because I don't because when I'm working one right after the other, I vet all these cards and crosses and reversals and stuff. And so the ones in the book, you can make sure those work. Those are the answers. So anyway,
Yep.
I wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you. Deborah, and I know this is like asking you to pick which is your favorite child. Do you have another card you'd like to share?
I would like to say something about the Seven of Pentacles. Kate did really well with this because we're a farmer, someone's farming their money and all that stuff. But what this is this is all of your own making. So it's not like the Nine of Pentacles, which is a lot, feeling secure financially. This is all of your own effort. It's not like the Ten of Pentacles, which means legacy and maybe inheritance. So whatever person has any kind of bounty in their life, it's because they have worked for it. And so to acknowledge that with your client, you say, oh, Spirit is telling me, you worked for everything you've got. And so that's something you can share to your client that will help them feel seen by Spirit.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I think that's a key point. It's just because all of this, and it's the same with the Nine of Pentacles, everything in that you have in the Nine of Pentacles, you've worked hard for it. So,
yeah.
And that's beautiful. I do. I'm going to pause for a second and say hello to Thomas, Tarot Your Way, who is being an amazing in a recovery situation. So thank
congratulations.
you. And Amanda said, this is crazy. I was shuffling the deck and the Seven of Cups jumped out. There we go.
Love
it's amazing how this happens. So, okay. I'm going to pick one of my favorite cards that it may be controversial. I really like the Tower. I like this Tower.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to see the Tower.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I have an more broad perspective of the Tower as it relates to the Devil. But this is a great card. It doesn't have any people falling from it or anything like that. Mm-hmm. It does show destruction and things going on, but I like how we have these birds flying out from it. It's like there we go. So there you go.
And depending on what cards are flanking it, even if you don't know tarot very well, let's say there's a lot of swords around it, that means that they're catastrophic thinking, maybe, right? So it doesn't mean that it's actually happening in real life. It means through your client's eyes, it's happening. You're overthinking this type of thing, or the and then the suits. But I'm glad you like that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And so Thomas did say, just out of surgery, all cleaned up and closed, now for recovery.
Blessings to you.
And Brian, Bless You Nerd Tarot, said, I just saw this deck in a store yesterday and added it to my list. Who knew I'd be chore lurking on Gerald's live stream with Debra today?
Thank you. How fun.
So, yeah. And the birds are being released.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Tanis here. Hello. Good to see you. So, all right. So, who would like to go? Oh, Jeff, you're next.
Yeah. The same sort of, just keeping in with what was just stated about how the actual devil isn't something external. It can be something internal, because there's this sort of same thing going on with the tower, where he's in his heart and in his upper body, if you will, is the very prison through the prism through which these people are being held. So the cage within is the cage without, in a way, instead of being something external. And I have to say, I don't know, I'm going to bring it up anyway, but was this face meant to look like Marilyn Manson? Because this face looks
It does
very much, especially.
It really does.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, but
You'll
I
have
like
to
that
ask
card.
Kate.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. And and Miss Moonlight said Marilyn Manson card. And by the way, Pamela Batchelor is crochet lurking.
Oh, nice.
Very
Oh,
nice.
look at that donkey.
Very nice. Yes. So this actually, Jeff, this is a card that I was like going, I'm not necessarily a fan of this, because it is, it's so overpowering. But I understand it. It's just my initial reaction to it, which is an important thing. Sometimes it makes me go, what? Which is absolutely fine.
Right. And who's really in the cage?
Yeah.
The cage bird sings, but for whom, and then, but it really is almost, because it's almost as if there's an infernal cage, like behind the actual cage within. So it's a burning inside that we're doing to ourselves, I feel. And it does heighten the sort of sense, though, you're right, Gerald, of this urgent sort of burning around us. And that was the other thing I noticed about the deck. There seems to be a lot of scorched earth in a lot of the cards in background, which I think is really good, because I won't go into why yet, but I think that that's a really good card, the Devil card.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And this one, as I'm looking at it and hearing the discussion, this is this devil is the right size for oftentimes how we feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will adjust a bit.
Well, and it also it's obsessive compulsive, fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And it just will spit a little bit around everything. Let's say there's a 10 of cups family stuff, 10 of pentacles family stuff, and then you have the devil come in upright or reverse. There's going to be Uncle Tony who's going to overdrink or something. Somebody's going to throw a grenade in it. Just rise above it. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Definitely. All right, Val, what do you have?
Well, this is kind of, I don't think we've done this one yet. 5 of Cups. So, traditionally, you know what the 5 of Cups is. But here she's sitting in a beautiful setting on a rock above everything. And you can almost look down onto a valley that has a beautiful river. On her knee, as she is sitting down with her hands over her face, is a dove. And as soon as she takes her hands away from her face, she's going to see that beautiful dove of peace there to lift her up. And she's going to realize it's not as it seems. Things are shifting is all that is that there will be some growth. And then she will turn and see the 2 cups that are full.
Yep.
And she will move on in a graceful way because she has a beautiful world. And up in the sky, you see tons of birds flying, which also is lifting her spirit up after she takes her hands away. And I just see this as a card of life will go on, life will progress, and your soul will learn. You will learn more and more, and you will see the truth is things are beautiful.
Yeah. That's well said, Val.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And something, as you were talking, Val, something that is you can do with all tarot cards usually is you can look at them and visually tell a story about what's going on. And I don't know, somebody might want to write poetry about it or something like that. Don't know what that's about, Jeff.
Somebody might have already started doing it.
There we are.
Yes. So, but yeah. So, all right. Debra,
Yes.
do you have another card you'd like to share?
I'd like to readdress the devil.
Of course, of
You
course.
don't,
I don't mind at all.
okay. When you're reading someone, you have to remember the perspective. Are you reading that person through their eyes and their perspective, or are you reading their person of interest, their eyes, type of thing? And it gives you a lot more information if you know who it is. If they are treating their own self really bad with their addictions, or if the other person has this thing. Let's say that he left and he slammed the door. Will he be back? If the devil is in that reading, I don't care where it comes up. I can see that this is the kind of his way of doing it. And I have said and will say, and every time it's right, this isn't the first time he runs when it comes to. And then through his numerology, I can say, well, he's that's like the way he does things. But if it's recognized and understood, then it makes it easier. But it's there for a reason, but it's not going to come and get you in the night. It's just there to reflect. Oh, you overthink things, or you keep busy and forget about that type of thing. So
and which image you're drawn to first is going to inflect, as you said in the beginning of the show, how the perspective of how you're going to read it is based on the other cards.
Yes, exactly. So just wanted to revisit that.
No, thank you. I mean, this is wonderful. Okay, so I've already talked about how I like all of the swords, and I like the Hermit. The Hermit is one of my cards, and this brings me up to something that I appreciate about this deck is I do see a lot of representation of different cultures, and different gender in different roles, and I appreciate that. This is a really powerful card, especially because the light is in the hand, and oftentimes we will see it in a lantern, but this light in the hand gives a genuine connection to that insight, that heat, that passion, that desire for the insight that and the need for reflection and alone time. And this person is doing it surrounded by nature and beautiful clouds. And I mean, it's like, come on, it's like great. So
they're on their wisdom quest.
They're on their wisdom quest.
Yes. Their vision quest.
Vision quest, yes.
There's something shamanic about that card too.
Yeah, it is.
Very
vision quest.
So there's that. All right, we are almost at an hour, so I'm going to say this will be the last round. So pick your favorite or the one you really want Debra to give us insight on. Because this is the only time we will ever be able to talk to Debra. No.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
I'm kidding. I'm a smart aleck. So
I love it.
But so Jeff, what do you got?
So I have the 10 of Pentacles somewhere. I don't know where I put it. The reason I like the 10 of Pentacles is that it goes between the ancestral part, the parts that are necessary for shadow work, between one generation that preceded the next generation. And you sort of don't know what's lurking in the shadow that they passed on to their children, that in turn passed on to you. And then you see that syllogism of like the stained blood relative that might be the grandparent of the child, for whom in the lineage, the actual shadow work that the child's going to have to do could come back to the man who's holding him right then and there in the present. So this idea that it's always about money, the money is there, But I'm glad that there's this representation up front of generational, and the idea of almost like in the Kipper of redefining in those Kipper cards that it's not about income or wealth, it's about something else as far as the resource of happiness is concerned, as opposed to it just being about, money. So I like that card a lot too. Because there's shadow work in that, if you think about it. And then the gateways, there's almost like these portals to the past. There's almost something to, almost something about like maybe the Akashic records in a way, about the history of us,
Could
if
be.
you will,
Yeah.
universality of us. I don't know. I like that card a lot. That's the only other one I got. So I'm glad I made it in the nick of time.
And Ange talked about wealth comes in many forms.
It's my experience that cups bring people together, the emotion, sexual tension, all that stuff. But once a relationship is defined as exclusive or engaged, then it becomes a pentacle item. Your names go on paperwork together, rental agreements, everything starts anchoring into the lineage of things. So if you keep that in mind, that love relationships can come through as pentacles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, Val. Sorry to add pressure to you, but I'm doing it.
Did we do the Six of Pentacles yet? I can't remember.
We did not.
Oh, excellent. So the Six of Pentacles, one of my absolute favorites in this deck, because the benevolent universe is holding the scales. In other words, the universe is there to provide. It always is. And things will be there for everyone who is able to open up and receive. And you'll notice that this woman with a baby on her back who needs to have some abundance is receiving one of the pentacles.
Uh-huh.
And she is not greedy. She's taking one. There are other ones there. So the benevolent universe provides, and it's always there for us to receive from. Mm-hmm. And you notice the lights in the forest, and it's almost like there are things that are alive. The lights are even on the pentacles. It is a energy form, a life to tap into. It's the abundance of the universe that is there for everyone. And that no matter who you are, someone who needs that abundance with the baby on your back, it's there for you if you reach out and accept it with an open heart and mind that you are worthy of everything. And those scales that she's carrying even have that light on it, on the top, saying this is energetic. This is an energetic form of energy.
Yeah.
For everyone to tap into. Mm-hmm. And I love that life of that background of the forest. It's just beautiful green, nurturing light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Val, I have to say, one of the things that I also appreciate about this, because I was being ruthless and I wasn't putting like 78 cards in my pile of favorite. One of the things that I appreciate about this is notice that the pentacles get larger as they move forward. So it's this idea of, is this the generosity? It grows and it has much more of an impact.
It's true. And as it comes down to earth in this timing, it becomes more crystallized so that you can tap into it even more and more. Once you see that abundance, perceive it, you can tap into this well of
karmic about it too.
Yeah. So, yeah. There's a lot there.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you for picking that card, Val.
Yeah.
So, all right, Deborah.
Okay, I do.
Do you have a card you absolutely want to talk about? And if you have two, we're doing two.
Okay. Well, I like the way Kate did the Seven of Cups. Mine doesn't show up very well. 7 of Cups, you can have with a client that shares that they have a lot of ideas, not all of them based in reality. And the only thing, the guidance you give to a client when you have this card, Paramount, is that you can go ahead and that's where creativity lives. That's where poetry lives.
Mm-hmm.
That's where screenwriting lives. That's where movies live. And so you don't want to thwart that, get your feet on the ground. You want to keep it. All the advice for that card is please, if you're going to act on an idea, run it past someone else. Just call a girlfriend, boyfriend, say, I'm thinking about doing that, and then get the feedback from that to make sure you're choosing the right cup. So,
Good advice.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah.
It's
Gee, where were you about 25 years ago?
Yeah.
So, all right. And Hypnicity said that's where my big ideas live.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing ideas.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now this is I'm actually going to pick this. I think this is another controversial card. It is one of the cards that I look at when I'm considering a deck. It is the 10 of Swords.
Yeah.
And what I appreciated about this is this person is, yes, there are 10 swords in their back. They are not on the ground.
Yes, they're not bleeding
out. But this, all of the swords they're there. The person has gotten up and is moving. So what has happened is I mean, you can tell by their face that there is a great deal of pain. There's a great deal of pain, and they are moving. And moving is going to allow those swords to fall out.
Drop off.
Yes. So I think, Kate, you've done a nice job with that. Or was it your idea to have it like this, Deborah? Or was it
not the only parameters with that and the tower is that I didn't want any blood, and I don't want them devastated to where they can't, because you can't. And same with the 3 of Swords. I didn't want that to go through the heart, because you'll have to die then, right?
Yeah.
Because and it's only a 3. This 10 of Swords is you feel like you've been misunderstood or thrown under the bus, but you're not going to die or bleed out. But, yeah, good job. She did that.
Yes. Woo. Okay. If anybody has a request to see a certain card,
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is that supposed to be Katy Perry?
It could be, right? I see her as Judge Judy. I've named Judge Judy on that, because when the Queen of Swords is upright, she's smart. Just like Judge Judy, she's smart. She delivers things clearly and all that stuff. Reverse her, and she's the awful Judge Judy, right? It addresses you down and goes a little too far. And and I got to tell you something. This is just between you guys and me.
Okay. Everybody else, don't listen. Mute
Don't listen. But when I'm doing a reading, let's say I have a love breakup or something like that, and I'm reading a woman, and I have the reverse Judge Judy or Queen of Swords, I know that she is contributed to this situation. So the story might say, oh, he did this to me, he did that to me. And I say, because I had one person justify all of her actions. And I see that because of a fight, he left and all that stuff. And I saw that card and I says, you know what? I'm just going to tell you, in respect for your time and money, he needs to win this one. In fact, he needs to win more than you're allowing him to. And there was a long pause, and she goes, I understand, because that has never failed me when it comes in reverse. Tells me, and same with
that's good.
The king of reverse, king of something, then I know that especially a king of wands, because with fire, that's the fastest energy, and there's not much space between a thought and an action. They're the most dangerous reverses, because that's the physical stuff. But now Judge Judy reversed.
Well, that's really very insightful. It's really very insightful. We have had a request to see some of the pages and the sixes. So I have pulled out the sixes. I am going to pull out some of the pages. So, and of course, I'm almost glad that we're done. So we have the page of wands. We have the page of swords. So the pages do have a youthful appearance to them. They're very dewy, I would say.
Dewy.
So, and so there's that. And by the way, in Decode Tarot, Debra talks about the relationship with the court cards and you. We talked about it also on our Decode Tarot deck casual or conversation. So there's that. And you're welcome. Okay, so Pamela, here are the sixes because you're welcome, Linda. And because Pamela said sixes, the love that moves generations is how she saw it. So got that. Six of Swords, Six of Wands, Six of Cups,
generations,
and then the Six of Pentacles. So
sixes are cool. They are, well, that's numerology.
Yeah, there's a certain level of centeredness to all of those cards. Symmetry or centeredness or something that makes them so beautiful.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm all excited. I am.
Thank you.
Val, thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, everyone.
I have seen Val use this deck in readings when I've been with her. So
thank you.
Yes,
I do use them.
Thank you so much.
All four of us.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, yes. And all of us do private readings. Contact information is below. If you want a more in-depth reading or an in-depth reading, contact us. Contact information is below. And let me tell you, as a reader, I love doing one-on-one readings.
Yeah.
Love it, because we can get into a lot of depth.
And sometimes people who call me for one-on-one readings, it's a to learn more. Have an hour of teaching. Like I want to learn numerology, and then I teach them numerology or teach them the tarot. So it's not just for crisis.
Yeah.
So, all right. Last minute's thought, Jeff.
Thank you for doing this, and thank you for affirming our love of tarot collectively, but also what we're seeing in the cards and your finessed way of explaining it helps even more. And I think at any level, these cards are really good for any prospective reader.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It
means the world to me. Wow.
And Val, any last minute words?
I definitely love these cards, and I appreciate the beautiful, rich color in all of these cards and the imagery, but also the information provided is very succinct and clear, and it really is clarity.
Thank you.
And don't miss Debra's book when it comes out, Decode. What is it?
Decode Tarot.
Decode Tarot. Of course, it's Decode Tarot. I have read it, and it's phenomenal. You will definitely want to get that and have it in your collection, because you can reference it anytime, and it has very precise and clear information that is so meaningful to give depth to everything. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Val.
Okay.
And
everyone.
Okay, I'm riffle shuffling so that it does do a riffle. So you can do that. So I'm just glad to have my deck so that I can shuffle it, because it's like, ooh, I'm talking, sharing that energy. So
I love that. Thank you so much, Gerald, for having me and everyone else doing this. This is certainly the 6 of Wands for me. I was sitting on my high horse. I appreciate it.
well, and that high horse is built through really solid work, and it is built through inspired work and through dedication.
Yes.
I mean, let's face it, 174 little white page white book is not little,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
people.
So
Thank you.
Little.
So, and everybody, please do me the favor, if you've watched this on playback, please leave a comment to let us know what you thought about it.
Yes.
Again, purchase responsibly, know your limits. Tarot collectors, disclaimer, we're here to share, not to sell. The second edition of the Clarity Tarot will be coming out sometime in 2025 with some changes, including the cardstock will be a bit heavier.
Yeah.
And the majors will have numbers on it. So,
Yes.
Yeah. So
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. And everybody, have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.
Hi, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.